employees, and also heightening individual engagement. I was also very passionate about environmental and energy management, so I run a lot of campaigns to educate our people on environmental matters and also on energy matters. And I was also in charge of social responsibility, so some of these social responsibility projects that you saw earlier that Daniel presented was actually spearheaded by me. And also sustainability, I was also taking charge of sustainability together with my colleague. So about 2 years ago, we were given this golden opportunity to collaborate with a Dutch consortium to build a state-of-the-art, first in the world urban farm in Singapore. Okay, I have always been very passionate about growing. I've always been very passionate about food security. And my father, as we all know, he's always been very passionate about sustainability project, contributing to the goodness of mankind and also to the earth. So when this opportunity was presented to us, we did a feasibility study, and we think this is really a good business to go into, because it is not, like my father always said, it is like my chairman always said, it's not the profits that we're looking at, but it's the fact that we will be contributing to Singapore's food security and food sustainability. Okay, so we formed this company with the Dutch consortium, and we call ourselves the Urban Farming Partners Singapore. So today's presentation is to share with you this farm project that is currently ongoing and that we will be building sometime in early 2020. Okay, so I'm not sure whether you all know, but Netherlands is actually the second largest exporter of vegetables to the rest of the world. Okay, so the number one largest exporter is the USA, is the United States of America. But United States is 200 times the size of Netherlands. Okay, so United States is the biggest exporter of vegetables, but they are 200 times the size of Netherlands, and Netherlands is the second largest exporter. So Netherlands is indeed a small nation feeding the world. They are a small country feeding the entire world. So how are they able to do this? And the reason is because they are number one in terms of horticulture technology. So in terms of growing, okay, 种菜, 种花, 种什么都好, the Dutch, they are number one in the world, which is why they are so small, but they can feed the entire world. Okay. So this particular consortium, the Urban Farming Partners, is basically, the consortium is basically an initiative of Dutch experts. So all these Dutch experts in food processing, food production, logistics, climate control, all these different growing systems, they coming together, okay, to combine their expertise and their know-how to design a unique and sustainable urban farm concept that can be implemented in mega cities. Okay, so mega cities like Singapore, and in the future, certain cities in China, like Hong Kong, Guangzhou, and even in the Middle East. So this particular urban farm solution and concept can be implemented in all the mega cities in the world. So it's not just in Singapore, but Singapore is identified as the first city where they are going to build this blueprint to showcase the blueprint farm to the rest of the world. Yeah. And through its carefully selected partners, right, Urban Farming Partners, Netherlands, they are able to provide innovative horticulture technology and holds integrated knowledge in every aspect of the supply chain. So when they come to Singapore, they wanted to look for a local partner. So they got the Netherlands Embassy to help them look for a local partner. And I always say, when you put your intention out there, the universe receives your message, and the universe will plan your way for you. So because I'm very passionate about farming, and my CEO knew about it, and he was talking to one of my tenants who is a Dutch, and this Dutch tenant is actually the one who introduced the agriculture advisor from the Netherlands Embassy in Singapore to us. And that was how we got connected with the Dutch consortium, and that was how we decided to go onto this project together with them. So it is actually the Dutch consortium, myself and my father, as well as with the support of HSL as the engineering and construction partner and the landlord, because we'll be using the space, the warehouse here in this building for the farm. So it's all of us coming together to build this amazing urban farm that I'm going to be sharing with you in a while. Okay, so we all know about rapid urbanization. We all know about environmental degradation due to climate change. And all this has made growing in the open field, traditional farming, okay, to be more and more difficult. And traditional farming in the near future will no longer be feasible, right, because of environmental degradation. So really the quest for sustainable solution is urgent. We have to find alternative solution to produce our food, and urban farming has the high potential to feed large groups of populations just by growing indoor with proven technologies, and this is what we are going to be bringing to the table. So urban farming is really about developing livable and lovable city, because when you do urban farming, right, you are able to bring the farm closer to the consumers, and because of that you reduce carbon footprint. Yeah, and urban farming also helps to preserve biodiversity, because open field farming you need to use a lot of pesticides and all that, and when you use pesticide you destroy a lot of insects, that is good for the environment, that is part of nature. But urban farming will eliminate all that. And also with urban farming, the quality of the vegetables, the freshness of the vegetables is actually guaranteed as compared to open field farming. So urban farming is definitely the way to go in the near future. Alright, so basically my partners, or rather our company, will be able to provide a sustainable and circular alternative to traditional horticulture, and a real solution to the reduced availability of suitable arable land and otherwise hostile climates. So the mission of Urban Farming Partners Singapore is to produce in or close to large urban areas, premium quality organic leafy greens and herbs throughout the year, and to provide a sustainable and circular alternative to traditional horticulture. So this farm that we are going to be building, right, we have incorporated circular processes into the farm. So circular processes meaning, I'll just give you an example, is that the farm will be run by 100% rainwater. Okay, it will be run by 100% rainwater, so which means we will do rainwater harvesting in this building, and all the rainwater collected will be used to operate the farm, and we'll be installing this high-tech dehumidification system in the farm. So whatever water that is evaporated will be captured by the dehumidification system, and it will be released back into the farm. So this is what we call a circular process, and there will be no waste generated. So this is basically our mission. And eventually our solution will ultimately reduce the pressure on our environment, which is something that we're very passionate about, and also improve biodiversity. Okay, so why did the Dutch choose Singapore to build the first of such farm? So you see, this is first in the world because the Dutch have never exported their technology in an urban vertical setting. They have never put together all their proven technologies under one roof, which is why this is first in the world. So why did they pick Singapore? Now, Singapore is ranked 7 in terms of GDP per capita, and we have 6 million inhabitants. That means there are 6 million people staying in Singapore, and we have 17.5 million of tourists every year. So you can see there is a lot of people actually coming and going in Singapore, and we really do need that food supply. But unfortunately, Singapore can only be 10%. Singapore currently is only 10% sustainable in terms of food. More than 92% of our food is actually imported. Yeah, and our government is very concerned about this. They are very concerned about this. We only have 2% of arable land. Arable land is basically land that is plowable that you can actually use to grow crops. So we only have 2% of arable land. 92% of our produce is imported, and the government is very, very concerned. So they come up with this strategy called the 30-30 strategies. 30% sustainable by 2030. So our government is very open and very encouraging to alternative solutions, in producing food. So when it comes to it's like if you're a farmer and you go to the government and you say, okay, I've got this brilliant idea, I want to do this. They will look at your design and everything, and they will give you a lot of support, which is why Singapore is a very, very good ground to actually test out this blueprint farm, which is why the Dutch has identified Singapore as the place for this farm. So as mentioned here, the great potential of the current Dutch state-of-the-art horticulture technologies make it possible to supply extremely high production volumes based on a sustainable and circular approach. So the Singapore government doesn't just want to provide food for its people, but they want to grow more with less and sustainably. Okay, so these are the words from the CEO of Singapore Food Agency. So he said it is not just about growing food ourselves and giving, growing locally to the local community. But it is about growing more with less resources, less water, less energy, and in a very sustainable way. And this is where the Dutch technology will come in. So this is an artist's impression of the farm. So it is actually sketched out here. This farm will be built at level 4 of this particular building. It is actually a vertical stack-up system, right? And the vegetables that will be growing are in 4 categories. Leafy greens. So leafy greens are like lettuces. Local greens like kailan and pak choy. Leafy herbs. Leafy herbs are like basil, mint, and woody herbs. Woody herbs are like rosemary and thyme. So these are the 4 categories of vegetables that we will be growing, okay? And like I said earlier, if we run by 100% rainwater, we will also be harvesting solar. So we'll be installing solar panels at the side of the building to harvest as much solar power as we can to run the farm. Okay, so this integrated indoor farm consists of proven and tested Dutch technology in terms of growing method, the growing system, in terms of fertigation, irrigation, and climate control. Yeah, so this is going to be a enclosed climate control farm. That means the temperature, the humidity, everything is controlled. So the quality of the vegetables in a way is guaranteed because you are not subjected to weather conditions, or you're not subjected to like pest infestations and all that. So it is a guaranteed way of growing healthy and quality vegetables. Okay, so just some statistics about the farm. Is going to have 12,000 meters square of cultivation area. So cultivation area means areas where we have the vegetables. So it's actually a built up. The entire space is about 7,000 over square meters. So after we built up, right, it's about 12,000 meters square of cultivation area. And we will produce about 700 to 900 tons actually of produce every year. 4 years of cultivation, and we'll be using about 9,000 meter cube per year of water demand, which is actually not a lot. And the most amazing thing is that with such a big farm, we only need 6 FTE. FTE means full-time equivalent. That means we only need 6 employees, 6 staff to run this massive farm. Yeah. And this farm is able to, the farm setup, right, is very flexible and suitable for short cycle crops. So we can change the crop mix every 30 days. So if next month our clients say, our customers say, okay, I want you to grow more pak choy, then we can start growing more pak choy 30 days before. So it's short cycle crops and the turnaround is actually very, very fast. So that makes us very quick to respond to market demands. Okay, so now very quickly, I'm going to show you the growing system that we will be using. So this growing system is a hydroponic system. So I'm sure you are familiar with hydroponics. Hydroponics, that means 用水种菜啦。Okay, 就是用水种菜 instead of 泥土. So 我们没有用泥土，就是用水. So hydroponics is actually using water. Okay, but our growing system, right? Our hydroponics is called dry hydroponics. So it is not a typical hydroponic system. With typical hydroponic system, right? 就是在一个传统的 hydroponic system, the peat, this is called the peat. The peat will be actually inside the water. So when the peat is inside the water, it creates a lot of fungal issues. 会那个蔬菜会很容易腐烂。So if 这个 peat 在这个 water, so our system, what we do is that we changed this particular design, this particular farming system actually elevates the peat to be slightly above the water to create this oxygenated airflow between the peat and the water. And you'll be surprised just by a small tweak like that, right? It actually makes the vegetables very, very hungry for growth. Because for a few days, for about 3 to 4 days, right? Once this vegetable, once the seeds are sown, so 你一旦把那个种子放在那个 peat 里面了之后，我们就会把它放在这个 float， 对吗？那有大概3、4天，这个种子其实是没有水分的，没有水。就是在那个时候，这个植物它会很 hungry, it's very hungry for nutrients. And 在that 3 days, it will force the vegetable to want to grow. You know, this is basically nature, and it's like the survival instinct. And that 3-4 days will force the vegetable to grow very strong and very healthy roots. And with the healthy roots, right, the plant from that day onwards will be very healthy and will be of superb quality actually. Will be more nutritious than any other plants grown in typical hydroponic system. And it is really because of this layer of air that we live in between the peat and the water. And also our vegetables are going to be organic. So traditionally, hydroponics vegetables cannot be organic because for organic certification, 是有机的 certification, you all understand organic certification, right? So traditionally, right, organic certification can only be given to soil planting. So it's only when you have soil, then you can have organic certification because they need the soil because they need the growing medium to be an ecosystem. So when you grow in soil, inside the soil, right, there is a lot of healthy organism in the soil, and then the healthy organism is actually what make the organic vegetables organic. Yeah. So traditionally for hydroponics, right, people flush away the water. The traditional way of growing vegetables hydroponically, they flush out the water every 3 days. But with our system, we do not require flushing out of water. Okay, the water can be kept for as long as we want, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And because of that, right, the water itself starts to grow healthy organisms just like soil. Just like soil. And this is why we are able to get ourselves organic certified. Okay, so traditional hydroponic system, every 3 days they have to flush the water and top up with fresh water. Our system do not require flushing of the water. And so the water start to develop into an ecosystem of its own with a lot of healthy organisms inside. So we will be able to get ourselves urban organic certified, and we are going to be the first hydroponic farm probably in Singapore or I'm not sure about, maybe in the world as well, to be organically certified. And Singapore actually recently came up with urban organic certification standards, and we have met up with the relevant authorities, and they have already told us that, you know, our system will meet organic certification. So that is very, very exciting for us. Actually, that's all I have. So we are very excited about this project. Currently, we have submitted a funding to Singapore Food Agency. Hopefully, that's a government agency. Hopefully, they will give us their maximum grant, and with their money and with our own investment, we hope to start construction sometime in early 2020, maybe in January or February. Yeah. So hopefully, the next time when y'all come back to our building, we'll be able to showcase the farm to all of you. Okay.